In North Korea, a child is declared an enemy of the state the moment they are born. North Korea is known for the world's strictest laws, and some of them are so unbelievable that they are hard to fathom. For instance, elections are held here, but there are no other options to choose from. You can only vote for one person, and if you don't vote, you face direct imprisonment. There is only one channel on TV, and there is no option to tune into other channels. North Korea is perhaps the only country in the world where you can be sent to jail not just for committing a crime, but even for thinking about one. Today, we will learn about some of the unbelievable and strict rules of North Korea, rules that might seem strange and unimaginable to many. So, please subscribe to the channel and stay with us. From 1910 to 1945, for about 35 years, the entire Korean peninsula was under Japanese rule. But after the end of World War II, Korea was divided into two separate nations, North Korea and South Korea. Soviet influence was established in the northern part, while the United States exerted its influence in the southern part. In 1948, North Korea was established under the leadership of Kim Il-sung, with its formal name being the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Despite having the word democratic in its name, a democratic system has never existed in the country in reality. 2 years later, in 1950, the famous Korean War began between North and South Korea. Although a ceasefire was later established, no formal peace treaty has been signed between the two countries to date. That is why it is said that technically, the two Koreas are still at war. From the very beginning, power in North Korea has been concentrated in the hands of one family. First Kim Il-sung, then his son Kim Jong-il, and currently, his grandson Kim Jong-un is ruling the country. To hold on to their power, every ruler has introduced even stricter laws and control measures than the previous one. Control over the general public is maintained through strict surveillance, fear, and punishment, especially to prevent anyone from taking a stand against the government due to the influence of South Korean or Western culture. Various strict restrictions have been imposed. In North Korea, if someone goes against the government or criticizes the Kim family's rule, not only is that individual punished, but their entire family is also brought under punishment. This punishment does not stop with one person. It can extend to their children and future generations. In other words, if someone is once caught as an enemy of the state, their grandchildren will also grow up with the identity of being enemies of the state. The purpose of this rule is so that no one in the future dares to speak against the Kim family's rule. In North Korea, voting is mandatory for every citizen. However, the person one votes for is already decided by the government beforehand, meaning there is no such election here where people can choose their preferred leader. Rather, there is usually only one candidate and everyone has to vote for them. Those who do not go to vote are seen as enemies of the state. So the question arises, why is voting done if the candidate is already fixed? Essentially, this voting is used as a loyalty test. When it is seen that almost everyone is voting for the same candidate, the government presents this as proof of the people's unity and support. The country also has a national parliament called the Supreme People's Assembly. But its real job is not to create laws or decisions. Rather, it is just to formally approve the decisions made by Kim Jong-un. Expressing grief when a member of the Kim family dies, or on the death anniversaries of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il, is mandatory. If someone does not express grief properly, the government's trust in them decreases. It is required to keep pictures of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il in every home, and keeping them clean and tidy is mandatory. The global internet is not open to North Korean citizens. They can only use a state-run internal intranet. This intranet is only effective within the country and has no direct connection to the outside world. The state closely monitors citizens' activities on this network, ensuring everything, what they are watching, reading, and who they are communicating with, is under surveillance. By controlling the flow of information in this way, the government attempts to keep the public isolated from the influence of the outside world. If someone is caught watching South Korean dramas or Hollywood movies, they may be sent to labor camps or face severe punishment. One must obtain a government permit to travel from one city to another. Otherwise, travel is illegal. Ordinary citizens do not receive North Korean passports. They are primarily designated for high-ranking officials and those close to Kim Jong-un. For the common people, going abroad is practically impossible. It is legally prohibited to make international phone calls in North Korea without state permission. That is, it is mandatory to get government approval before contacting anyone outside the country. In the country, everything, land, houses, shops, or businesses, is owned by the state. There is no private ownership. Things can only be used with state permission. Religious beliefs or practicing religion are also legally prohibited there. This means no one can follow any religion of their own free will. Although there are some churches, they are mainly to show the international community that there is religious freedom. In reality, attempting to practice religion leads to severe punishment. North Korea has a social class system called Songbun. Based on this, people are divided into different categories from birth. This is determined by looking at their family's past history. There are 3 main classes in this system. Number 1, core class. These are considered the most loyal people. Those whose families participated in Kim Il-sung's revolution or stood by the government during the war fall into this group. They have the opportunity to get good jobs, such as government work or high positions in the military. They can live in the capital, Pyongyang, and are sometimes allowed to own cars. Number 2, wavering class. These are ordinary people. Those whose families were ordinary farmers or laborers, or whose history is neither very good nor very bad, fall into this group. Their lives are limited to ordinary facilities. Number 3, hostile class. They are in the lowest position. Those whose families practiced religion or had relations with South Korea are kept in this group. The government views them with suspicion. They are usually given hard and low-status work, such as working in mines or cleaning jobs. In simple terms, in this system, a person's future depends much more on their family history than on their own actions. The country's television, radio, and newspapers are entirely state-run. There is no existence of any private media here. These media outlets mainly broadcast praise for the government, the glory of the Kim dynasty, and rhetoric against foreign enemies, especially the United States. From a young age, a negative attitude toward the United States and its allies is instilled in the citizens. Every TV is set to only government channels, such as Korean Central Television. As a result, people cannot change channels at their own will, and tuning into any other channel is legally prohibited. Even in TV sets brought from abroad, settings are changed beforehand so that no outside signal can be caught. Mobile phone and computer usage is permitted in North Korea, but they are under strict surveillance. Everything from USB drives to mobile memory is checked regularly. If any content from the outside world is found there, one has to face punishment. Instead of playing music at the country's metro and other public transport stations, speeches by the Kim family are broadcast. During this time, it is forbidden for passengers to talk or make any kind of noise. In many areas of North Korea, the government's surveillance system is very strict. It is said that there are government informants around every colony, apartment, and house who secretly monitor people. Here, it is not just about committing a crime. Even if someone thinks about committing a crime or expresses it, they have to go to jail. That is, if someone thinks something against the government and tells it to others, it invites danger for themselves. In North Korea, people have to participate in self-criticism sessions from a young age, which happens almost every week. In these sessions, people admit their mistakes in front of everyone. For example, someone might say they hid someone's weakness from the government, or did not praise Kim Jong-un enough, or were influenced by foreign culture. Then, that person asks for forgiveness for their mistakes. It is mandatory for all North Korean citizens to memorize the government's 10-point ideological principles. If someone stops or makes a mistake while reciting this list, they are seen as an enemy of the state. In each of these 10 principles, Kim Il-sung's name is associated in one way or another. In 2024, North Korea imposed new restrictions on wearing sunglasses and bridal attire. In North Korea, even people's hairstyles are under government control. Only specific styles are permitted. This means citizens cannot choose hairstyles as they please. The state determines what can be kept. Many things that are influenced by foreign culture are prohibited there, such as wearing jeans, dyeing hair, or wearing bright-colored clothing. Breaking these rules leads to the confiscation of items and the imposition of penalties. Using any foreign logo, slogan, or flag on clothing is not permitted. The government sees these as influences of foreign culture and wants people to carry only the identity of North Korea. Not only for locals, there are strict rules for foreign tourists as well. Tourists must always stay with a government guide, and they can only visit places designated by the government. They cannot talk openly with local people, and taking pictures freely is prohibited. If a tourist wants to interview someone, that too is not allowed without the permission of the tour guide. Personal freedom is limited even in terms of food. It is not always allowed to eat whatever one wants. Hot dogs are considered part of American culture, and foods like budae-jjigae and tteokbokki are considered South Korean, so they are kept prohibited. In North Korea, there are government rules for riding bicycles as well. Bicycles must be registered, and license plates must be used. Additionally, passing a road safety test and obtaining a license is mandatory before riding a bicycle. In North Korea, electricity, water, and gas are provided in rations, and the government keeps a very strict watch on their usage. Joining the military is mandatory upon reaching the age of 17, and both men and women have to serve for about 10 years. From childhood in school, children are made to memorize the speeches of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il so that they grow up learning loyalty to the government. North Korea is much more isolated than many countries in the world, and due to this isolation, they have their own separate calendar, which is called the Juche calendar. The start of this calendar is taken from 1912, which is the birth year of Kim Il-sung. Therefore, 1912 is considered Juche Year 1. There are several reasons cited for why North Korea remains so isolated. On one hand, the government believes that if people get information about the outside world, they might go against the government. For this reason, there is strict control over media, the internet, and travel abroad. If you like such informative documentary videos, please subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. Don't forget to like the video.